to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money day.
Welcome to Ride Along Live for today. It is Monday on the ride. Welcome to the ride. As you come and go ahead and share up the program, share up the thing, share up the thing, share up the thing. I don't need this mic. Yes. Good evening to you. Donnell Felix, how you doing? First up in the ride, Alicia Britton. Thank you, Alicia Britton. How you doing? Welcome to the ride. Welcome to the ride. Guys, we have some breaking news that just came through our wire here. I wanted to update everyone on what's happening. It is incident that happened in Grenada shortly before we came on air, or at least 25, 30 minutes before we came on air. Reports of a deadly shooting there in the Woburn area. At this point, police have not released any information, so we will not proceed to give out any additional information at this time. All we could report is that there is a confirmed shooting. Someone is suspected to be well, not even, because we don't have that information either. But I did see folks sharing pictures on social media. And I want to kind of warn against that, guys. A few people sent me those brutal pictures. For one, for the people who sharing those pictures of that bloodied individual sitting in the vehicle, sometimes you share these pictures, but you're not even aware if the person that you're sending it to could actually take this type of things, right? So be very cautious, be careful. Secondly, this information is not yet been vetted or confirmed or released by police, so we warn against sharing this information. All we could confirm at this point in time is that there is a confirmed shooting in the Woburn area, and police is currently on the scene, currently investigating. As to the reason, the cause of this incident, of this particular incident, we're unaware. There were unconfirmed reports as well that it is a non-national, but that's all we have at this time. I rest assured, guys, that within the space of this evening or so, within the case of this evening or early tomorrow morning, we expect to have some confirmed information from the RGPF on this particular incident. Now, this is the second shooting within the past 2 days, because I think not over the weekend we had an incident that of a shooting as well. So this is getting overbearing. This is getting out of hand, and we are calling on all stakeholders, people, government officials, whatever it is, that whatever needs to be done at this point in time to mitigate against the increased rise in violence, also the increased presence of firearm on the island. Make it more whether it means that make it more difficult or increase penalties for folks with firearms, whatever needs to be done. This is a whole discussion we're going to try to have this week, because it's just too much. It's just too much, because it is deteriorating Grenada as a marketable tourist destination. When you have 2-3 murders within a short space of time, and you have, it seems as it's happening on a recurring basis. This is deteriorating our tourism product. It's deteriorating Grenada, the region as a whole. All right, so we're gonna have a full conversation on this. Someone messaged me today and they wanted to join in the conversation, put their voice on what they think could be done presently. What they think could be done presently, right? So we promise you within the next week or so. In fact, this week, not next week, this week self, we will have a full conversation on things that could be done, ideas that could be implemented to cease or to at least help alleviate these violent acts, this act of violence throughout the Caribbean region. Again, we just want to confirm that there was in fact a deadly shooting in the Woburn area. All the information we have, again, it's the individual is a non-national, and that is all we could confirm at this point in time. Boy, it's getting hot in here. Anyway, guys, earlier we were contacted by this young man who definitely had a story to tell. I wanted to bring him on the program because he's making some damning allegations against members of the RGPF. I want you guys to listen to his story. And we did reach out to a few members of the RGPF. I know that they will be watching as well. And we do have investigators, our own private investigators on the ground that's also checking out this situation right here. But I want everyone to listen to this young man's story. Let's bring him on right now. Dylan is on the line with us. Dylan, could you hear us? Could you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, great. Welcome to the ride, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm good. Can you see me good?
Yeah,
Or you want me to turn?
we could turn because you're to the bright. Okay, that's better.
Oh, okay.
That's better. All right.
Yeah, well, thank you for the introduction. And yeah, I have a couple things to say. And I like what you just said before this. It's funny, I was in Woburn today and yesterday.
Uh-huh.
My aunt lives there, and I went to visit. But it's kind of sad to even hear that. It's sad to hear what's going on in Grenada. I've been here 2016, 2017, 2018. The whole pandemic, I was away. Came back in 2019. I was here in January.
The video
and I don't know if maybe
the video kind of cutting off your piece of your face a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I was blinded or something, but I don't know what changes within those last 5 years because this is new to me. I'm hearing it a lot. The vibe, the stories around here is exactly how you summed it up a couple minutes ago. The crime is out of control. The police are the criminal. You can kind of tell by the disrespect you get by the citizen and the police, right? Today I went in to state my case and try to have some kind of internal investigation done on my case, and it was nothing but just attitude, right? No help, no remorse, no conversation. It was just, okay, whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So the citizens are not getting any kind of security, in my opinion.
Right.
Or little to no security. I don't live here, but I'm a Grenadian. I'm a citizen. I was born and raised in Carriacou, right? So coming home is kind of a little piece to get away from living in Canada for so long, right? And my story is Friday, I went out for my jog, and like I usually do, I try to get away from the traffic, from the people and all that. And I'm trying to do a little drill, get a sweat, and there's nobody around, just me on the street. And all of a sudden I got a vehicle coming down behind me. I can see it in the corner of my eyes.
About what time?
The time was about usually like 3 a.m. Even that is too late for me, right?
Right.
So I try to do it when there's not much people around.
Right.
And I know I'm gonna get all the old people saying, you know, you should be in the bed at that time. You should be staying home. You shouldn't be there. But that's the issue is not where you are, is what's happening around you, and you never know what's going to happen around you in your space at that time. So in my space at that time, it was a car a vehicle pulled up beside me. I'm going down the hill, going up the hill, and all of a sudden, 3 guys jumped out of the vehicle, pointed guns at me. 3 guns, 3 guys. Right? So, nobody in the street. There was a second car, but this person didn't really identify themselves. I think it was support to the people that was there. So in my mind, I'm thinking I'm getting kidnapped. Right? That's all it feels like. I'm getting kidnapped because I don't know who these people are. Guns at me, and they're telling me, well, basically they weren't really saying much. So they grabbed me, shuffled me around, and I mean, I'm not a weak guy, and I know I'm strong enough to push them around. So I gave them a little test of my strength. But they have guns, so what you gotta humble yourself. So they grabbed me, and one of them said, "Oh, we're undercover, we're cops, right? There's no uniform, there's no vehicle that says I'm a police." So in my mind, I'm still thinking I'm getting kidnapped. You know, they could be lying, they could be making it up. I asked for a badge. The badge was, I mean, it didn't really look like a badge. It kind of looked like it's a toy or some kind of made up badge, right? But they put me in handcuffs, right? Without even saying.
Pause it for a quick second so we can get
Okay.
on it.
Okay.
One, what exact area did that happen?
So the area I live in St. Paul's.
Right.
So it was so dark and hard to see at night. So it's the end of in between St. George's and St. Paul's.
Okay.
It says Obstruction Street or Observation Street.
Okay. All right.
That's what I read.
And when you say you push them around a bit, when you said that you know you're strong and you kind of push them around a bit, how excessive was that?
Oh, it wasn't that much. There's 3 guys holding me. So picture 3 guys, about my size. So you know, you're not gonna. At that time, your adrenaline is pumping. You don't know. You're not just gonna roll over and die. You got self-defense comes in. You know, self-protection comes in, right? So shuffling them around is like kind of feeling what their strength is like in case you have to use it. That's what I meant.
Right. And did they when they point the gun at you, did they identify themselves as police then?
No. That's why I thought it was just going to be a kidnapping.
So when they pointed the gun at you, what did they say? What was
they say? So I don't really remember, but I think they were pretty much pointing the gun, jumped out, pointing the gun, stop. Yeah, like that. So when they really said they were police is like when they grabbed me, and I still didn't believe. So I go, "Let me see your badge," and that's where they showed me a badge. It didn't really look like a police badge, so I don't really know what a Grenada police badge looked like.
Right.
So one guy showed the badge, one cop.
Right.
So like I said, I'm still thinking I'm getting dragged, pulled. You know, something is happening, right? I had nothing on me really, just a drink, water bottle, a little tiny flashlight in my pocket, and my keys in my hand.
Okay. So they pulled you. At the point in time, you felt like as if you've been kidnapped by 3 guys.
Yeah, because they're kind of dragging me towards the car.
Right.
To the open door. Yeah.
So they drag you in the car. They put you in the car. What happened after?
Then they said, "You come with me. We're undercover. We're SSU special service unit or something like that." Can you hear me? See me?
Yeah, I could see you. Yeah, I could see you still.
And okay, I was like, undercover. Maybe they are undercover because they had handcuffs. They put it on. And that was it. Then they drove about 5 minutes down the hill towards a small police station in St. George's here.
Right.
So that's it says that there's a police station.
Let's talk about that from the time they put you in that car, that 5 minutes drive to the police station. Um, what was the conversation like? Did they talk to you? Did they tell you anything? Did they say what they was looking for
They
somebody?
said they said you're running from the police. That was the only justification they were giving me why they come in contact with me. They say you're running from the police,
Huh.
right? But I was running before they showed up. I was running, doing my exercise. I was sweaty, right? In my opinion, these guys are just. I mean, honestly, I believe they're gonna lie and say we were looking for somebody in the area. Where it could be true, it could not be true. But if you would have identified yourself and asked a question, say this is who I am, right? You don't aim your guns at people. I mean, there's three of you in a vehicle and then one of me on the street, minding my business, coming from behind me, So the professionalism, and that's I'm being nice right now because I shouldn't be being nice.
Right.
I think it's because I'm a nice guy, and I'm trying to see two sides, right? I'm actually pissed. I'm pissed because this shit happened to me before, right? In Canada.
Right.
Same shit. I had to go through the whole system of internal investigation to prove that somebody came into my space at my time, misjudged, misunderstood, right? The same thing. So in my mind, which I'm not even over yet, it's probably 4 years ago this happened.
Right. So this
but-
happened, something similar happened to you back in Canada.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So you're in Grenada, of course, you don't expect something like that to happen.
No, you feel a little freed up because you're home.
Right.
Right. You feel a little bit, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know what happened in the last 5 years, but I'm hearing a lot of your introduction about the crimes and the killing and the injustice and all that stuff that's happening. Grenada is kind of like out of control right now with this.
Yeah.
It's a buzz around here, right? Talking to the neighbor, I had my aunt in Woburn. This news got to her. She's 80 years old, calling me, worried, of course, she's an old lady. And she's telling me about what's happening in her neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And then you mentioned about Woburn, and I thought of her again. I'll talk to her tomorrow, but this issue is bigger than me. It's beyond me. It's bigger than me.
Right.
And I wanted to come on here to talk to you about something's got to be done, man. I mean, I know what I'm gonna do, but about the locals, about the citizens, about the people that get this kind of abuse all the time, and I don't think the abuse is coming from locals. I think it's coming from law enforcement and the abuse of power. It's something that's happening all over the world, but
right.
A place like Grenada, they need to get that under control because it will spiral.
We'll definitely talk more about that, but I want to get
Yeah.
So,
you want to get to my story? Yeah.
So you got into they put you into the car while transporting you. They spoke to you briefly. They brought you into the police station. What happened when you got to the police station?
So what happened? I got in, still in cuffs. I sat on the couch, and there was somebody behind the glass who does he takes your information and kind of takes a brief story. So the question that was asking, it was trying to get my identity, figure out where I'm from, my address, all that kind of stuff. And about the reason, it was a bunch of excuses. Mm-hmm. You try to run from the cops. They even said like, this can happen at this time. There's criminals at this time, but I said, you guys are pretty much the criminals because 3 people point a gun at you at 3:30 in the morning when there's nobody around but you. You guys are the criminals. I kind of give them a lesson because that's how I am. Mm-hmm. I think you have to hear a lesson from me. Plus, I'm in handcuffs. What more do you want? To me, how I see the criminals were them, right? So being there was just about, oh, so they use a facial recognition app, right? Where they take your phone and you put your face in the app. I don't know much about that, but I think it's something new. They're trying to figure out who this person is. If you are a criminal and matches their database, that's my guess. But obviously, I don't live here, so I wouldn't be in that database. So the whole time in there was nothing but questioning my identity and who I am, why am I there, and yeah, that was it.
Right, right. And did they officially booked you? Did they release you? Did they put you away for a while? What happened after?
They got the information about my identity, and I guess they had um, nothing else, so they just let me go.
Right. And you said that happened on Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday night. So
Friday.
that'll be Friday night.
Right, 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 right. Well, I mean, very unfortunate that anything like that would happen to anybody. But what we've seen and what we continue to see is a whole set of situations. Like on Friday, I believe there was a shooting in the St. Paul's area. This happened in the St. Paul's area, right? So
Yes.
a shooting in the St. Paul's area. It could have been that police was on high alert. I don't know. I don't know the whole story. Did they tell you anything as a shooting that occurred in the area, and you probably resemble somebody who might look like whom they might be looking?
No, they just said there's a lot. The only thing that they said was, I go. So what is the chances of a guy exercising with a water bottle in a hand? You know, up to no good. You know, being a criminal, and then they said, well, there's a lot happening. They didn't point to any incident, but that's just what they suggested. There's a lot happening around.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's very unfortunate. So you went through the process. They tried to get your information. Of course, they couldn't figure you out on the facial recognition software. They then released you. Did they offer you an apology? What was it?
Yeah, it was a little tiny apology. Yeah, the main guy that was in charge.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
but sometimes apology is just an apology. You know, I left the building. I don't even know where I don't really know Grenada. I'm from Carriacou,
right,
so I can walk around Carriacou with my eyes closed. So I left the building and found my way because I drove to that hill. I parked on the hill. They didn't know that, so I just didn't. They didn't have to know that,
right,
right? So I was going up and down where my car was, so I can get into the car and then take off. Because when I do go this late, I think of safety for sure, and I think if I'm walking all St. Paul's, something can be right. So I just wanted a minimum limited amount of space with that hill. That's why I chose that one.
right, right. So after that incident occurred, they offer you an apology. You left. Did you engage with any one of the officers? Did you get to find out who the officers were? Any information about the officers that pulled guns on you?
Well, during the time, I was nothing else to do because I'm sitting in handcuffs. So there's a young cop, the only guy who showed his ID. So I questioned him, how old are you? Maybe 25, 26, just to lighten the mood, right? And I kind of warned him. I was like, if you under this direction of this superior, you heading downhill for destruction because this guy, his superior was not professional. His superior was very cocky and arrogant. His superior was Mr. Know-it-all. He should know better. He should know how to conduct himself better. The second guy, there's three of them. To me, he was just I missed the yes guy, guy. But the young guy didn't respond because his boss said, "Don't talk to me. Don't respond." but I wanted to hit the kid because he's young and he seems like he was eager to he was kind of embarrassed, really. I think he was embarrassed. The conversation with the corporal, he was just too arrogant and cocky to even have a normal conversation. I stated the fact I'm older than all of them. I'm almost 50 years old. These guys, one like 25, maybe 35 to maybe 40, no more.
Right.
Right. So I just took the role of just trying to figure out what really is going on, but a lot of time it wasn't transpiring because, like I said, very arrogant and cocky, and yeah.
Right. During the time you was in the custody of the police, did they abuse you? Did they hit you? Did they?
No,
No, nothing
no.
like that. Verbally.
As far as like grabbing me on the street and shoving me in the vehicle, right? Because that's what I'm saying. Like that's what it felt a kidnap would feel like.
Right.
Right. Not having a conversation with me, just guns pointed instantly, grabbing you and shoving you in the vehicle.
Right.
Like I don't understand what kind of system this is. I don't get it because I don't think in any world, any country, like this should be, especially coming from a senior guy. Like it was unbelievable. It was thinking about it sometimes, just like wow. Right. I guess they feel superior because they had the guns or something. I don't know what the train of thought was, but it's not the way to conduct any kind of police activity out there. It's just wrong.
Right.
And this is why I'm not going to stop talking about this. I'm not going to stop. I guess I naturally become an advocate now because there's a lot of young people who's going to go through this. Like a lot of people who are not as lucky as me, who will probably end up getting dead and slaughtered, and now the family or parents and loved ones is going to wonder why didn't these old heads stop it before? You know what I mean? Like people like us,
right?
Make a stand or something, right? Speak on it, and then talking about it is just a start, right?
Yeah. Let me update everyone who's watching. If you just came on the live here, we're speaking to Mr. Dillon here, and he's saying he was out at about 3:30 a.m. in the morning trying to get a little sweat running, right, in St. Paul's, General St. Paul's area, right there, last Friday. And he was picked up by police officers, 3 police officers, who aimed a gun at him, picked him up, and put him in the car. And he thought for the whole time that he was being kidnapped. He wasn't sure that it was police officers. At first, his claim is that they never identified themselves as police officers. So he was unsure. Up until that point, he still felt like he was being kidnapped. So he was put in the car. Later, he asked, and they told him that there was police officers, but that was quite after. There was police officers. One of the police officers showed him a badge, and he don't know what a Grenada badge looked like. His claim is that it looked more like a Mickey Mouse something to him, based on, Anyway, he was then taken to the police station. Well, I guess by then, he started to realize, well, yeah, it probably would be a police officers because I'm now in the police station. Taken into the police station, and they were trying to identify him at this point with a facial recognition software. That didn't work. They later found out who he was, and he was then released. He was released and given an apology because he was innocent of whatever alleged crime that they deemed him to have been committed. What we do know, guys, is around that time, on that Friday, I believe Friday, Saturday, there was an incident involving a young man who was shot in the St. Paul's area. Now, I don't know if that was as a reaction a knee-jerk reaction to what happened there and they was on pursuit. I don't know. I guess the police would respond to it. Nevertheless, the young man is claiming that he was treated as if he was a criminal in his own country. Now, he is from Grenada, but he lives abroad, right? So when he come home, the last thing that he expect is to be treated that way, especially knowing that something similar happened to him back in Canada. Tell us about what happened in Canada.
So the similar incident was I like going to the gym early. So I left my house, went to the gym. It's thinking back is just so funny because I went straight to the gym and got on the machine and forgot my drinking water, went back to my car, which is like 10 steps from the car door. I'm sorry, from the gym door. Then I went to my driver's side and looking for my water, and then all of a sudden, four cops this time came from behind the building, grabbed me, handcuffed me, and put me in the car and said that I fit the description of a guy they're looking for.
Uh-huh.
So I have to go through the same old process. That time, they said that there's a guy. The area I live in there's not much black people.
Right.
Very rare you see. Sometimes you see a black person every 3 weeks, one person. So the chances of that happening was, I could tell, was BS.
Right.
So apparently the guy that they were looking for, they told me his name. They used the software on me. Same thing.
Wow.
There was one other person in the gym. So I had my license, my whole gym bag inside the gym because it's a 24-hour gym, so I have a fob to get in. So for me to identify myself, I had to get back into the gym to get all my information. So I'm sitting in the car handcuffed again. So when they searched my car, right? They're not supposed to. They searched my car looking for information. Found nothing. They found my insurance, I guess, with my name. Matches the name I told them. Then when they found zero things, I had to let them into the gym because I held the key to the fob. I'm into the gym, right? Handcuffs. So I'm handcuffed walking. It's sometimes it's like, man.
It's like a replica of the same thing.
It's like, you know when something's happening to you and you think you're in the twilight zone and you have no control over it.
Right.
You know, because the handcuff is a protection for these guys and their guns, right? And that's how they get their strength. So I had to go into the gym to get my ID and all that. And they can tell, like, the guy, it could be a made up story, it could be a lie, could be, I even thought maybe somebody at the gym, the neighbor didn't like me and probably called them. But the fact that they were outside within seconds, you know,
right?
Like, it seems like they were waiting. But anyways, with that story, I identify myself. They were wrong again. I had to go through the process of filing a claim on these 4 guys. I had, I did the whole process, but
right.
all it is cops investigating cops.
Right.
They all work together. They all cover each other. So I didn't expect anything.
Yeah.
Same old thing. A measly apology, and I even got a job offer.
Wow.
The internal investigator said that, you are a problem solver, well-spoken. You ever thought of becoming a cop? I laughed so hard, man. But I don't even know why I saw the compliment in that, but I know the system of cops, and I know police force in general was not created for black people, for black men, for especially black men. It's pretty sad to see Grenada is using a system that was created to oppress our people, right? You're still using that system to oppress your neighbor, to oppress your brother and sister, right? I'm not saying that it's going to happen overnight, but
But but,
you
but, let,
know,
but let me ask you let me ask you something. I mean, you don't necessarily you wouldn't necessarily stand out in Grenada because you are a black person just like myself or most.
that's what I thought. That's what I thought, man.
Why do
You
you think you were isolated, or do you think that you were isolated, and why?
be isolated or you being like targeted.
Targeted, sorry.
Um, I don't know because it happened so fast. So I don't think there could be any target. It just happened so fast. I can see the vehicle coming down beside me in the corner of my eyes, and I see the light, and that's the only vehicle, right? It was within seconds that happened, and I'm wearing gym clothes. So,
Right.
but as you mentioned, targeted. Uh, the vibe, if you are not from here, you may look the same, but people know when you're not from here. They know. They know.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been back here since for a while? Have you been to Grenada for a while?
For me?
Yeah, recently.
Yeah, I'm always there.
Okay. Okay.
So you think you were somehow targeted because they recognized that you were not from there.
No, I don't think so. The police? No, I don't think so.
Okay, so that wasn't the
No,
reason.
no. What I'm saying is, in general, like Grenadians know when you're not from here,
Yeah.
even if you don't say a word, right?
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah. Someone sent me this question here. Did you report the incident to the
Yes, I did
authorities
that. I did that today.
or file any complaint about the officers?
Yeah, I went. I did it today because Monday, the weekend the office was closed, so I went and did it today.
Okay. And the claim is that you was wrongfully incarcerated, taken
Yeah,
into custody
yeah,
wrongfully.
yeah.
What was the process and what is the next plan of action?
Okay, let me tell you a story about before you go to that. So I went to the main police station. You know, the big one in St. George's, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, so I went to the office, and it's like it's that arrogance and that vibe. I can't even really explain. You you were there to serve. You were there to serve the people. Getting brushed off about asking a question, getting directed to the wrong place, laughing, giggling about your complaint, giggling about what you ask about.
Mhm.
That kind of mentality and that kind of uh, uh what's that? That yeah, that mentality and that stupidity. Because Grenadians are smart people, but those little things is like you put your citizen first. You think about your brother and your sister first. So they shove you off without giving you the proper directions. Then I found out it was up by the hospital. I had to go up there, right? Mr. Blair's um, place. So I went up, and even in that office, it was, oh, we don't really care. You know, you can you can forward me your what you wrote, and then you can sign it. But the help wasn't even there. You know, like it's like they don't really want to do an investigation. I left there without getting any clarity, any answer. They're not going to do anything. So you're on your own. You pretty much have to take a legal stance with this. Um, I don't know. I'm jumping to conclusions. I'm just hoping to hear back from them
Right.
because they said they'll get back to me, compare stories, and at the end she asked me, "So what do you want to hear about? Or what kind of outcome do you want?" Right. So I mean, that's a weird question because you are there to represent the people and do an internal investigation about your police officer, right? So you should have a system and a list of things that you come back with, right? So she's asking me, what do I want? That was confusing. I need to know. I need to know what the police report stated. I need to compare my story with their story. I need you to do an investigation on the officer. Like, isn't that basic um, relations? Like that's what they're for, right? I don't really know what they're for. It doesn't make sense.
Right. Have you considered or are you considering legal action?
Yeah,
You are.
because it's not going to go anywhere. This is just going to be a run around like the last time, and it's not going to happen again. Like I have no faith in the law, no faith in police force, no faith in the system, right? I don't think the world does. If you do, you're stupid. Police are here for themselves, and they're here for corporations. They're here for the money. They're here for property, right? They're not here for the people. Just to serve and protect. Come on, that's just a saying, right?
So
We all know that.
let me ask you a question. Let's do a hypothetical. If it was in fact an incident where there were in fact a shooting on that day,
Okay.
and police was investigating to find out, they're on high alert. Do you think that their action would then justify the means of them picking up people because they may be in a specific place at a specific time of an incident? Would that justify it for you if that was in fact the reason given by the police?
So what again you're asking me is it justifiable that a police would be on a stakeout or on a case and identify a person walking on the street, pull their guns on them, grab them, rough them up, put the handcuffs on them, and throw them in the vehicle? Is that what you're really asking me?
No, I'm just asking from your perspective, do you see any justification for
Uh-huh.
their actions?
No, no, because they should be properly trained. They
Yeah.
should be that. They should be if they can't act on how they were trained, they should get a different job.
Yes.
Go work at the grocery store. Go work at the gym, right? I'm not saying police job is easy. No jobs is easy. They probably have one of the hardest jobs. But
Yes.
you got to remember why you're doing this. You got to remember how you get there and why you chose it, right? You could kill people on the way. So if people's life matter to you, you will do it the right way. If it doesn't, then you consider a different job,
Right. No,
right? And
you're right because I believe sensitivity training is at paramount. You have to.
for sure, especially in that career.
Yeah, exactly. And
So the justification, no, because there's too many incidents and too many people are getting killed and crippled and no justification for moms and dads and loved ones like husbands and wives. Like it's just no.
right, right. I was also told that the incident in question didn't happen on Friday. It happened on Saturday, which um, was a day after. So there probably would have been no heightened alert at this time, right?
Hmm.
Because I was just reliable told by my producer that the incident
Who
happened.
told you? Who told you that?
We were told that no, not your incident, not your incident. There was a shooting incident that happened on Saturday, not your
On
incident.
Saturday. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I'm saying if it did happen on Friday, nothing could justify the police treating you that way. Are you hearing me?
Yes, yes.
No, I lost you. I lost you. Your internet. Probably need to jump out and come back in. All right. All right. She's gonna jump out and come back in, guys.
Well, I'm here.
You back? No, I think it. I'm hearing myself in an echo. I don't know if you got a call or something.
Yes, I had a call.
Yeah. So just jump out and come back in. He's gonna fix it.
Okay.
All right.
I
All
think
right,
I
guys,
own that.
open up the phone lines. We're going to open up the phone lines right now. For those of you who want to call in, this is the opportunity to call in right now. 718-701-5720. We're talking to this brother who felt that he was taken advantage of by undercover police officers who came up on him, didn't initially identify themselves to him. He felt that he was mistreated. They pulled guns at him, right? Pulled guns at him for no apparent reason, as far as he's saying. There was no reason for them to treat him that way, right? And the confusion that he's going through, because of course he's a Grenadian, he's in his homeland. He's not expecting to have that in his homeland, right? And what's even worse in his case is that he experienced something similar back in Canada. So he's like, I'm home. This is not supposed to happen to me, especially when I'm home. So the confusion and the frustration you could imagine. But when we prompted this program, I got a message actually from someone who said that, funny enough, they experienced something similar. So I'm not sure if it's a thread, it's something that is going on. I am not sure. So let me open up the phone lines right now. Let's take your call, 718-701-5720. Guys, let us talk about this. Let me know what's your thoughts about this. All right. You could call me on WhatsApp or you could call straight. Again, the number is 718-701-5720. This young man was, as he said, he felt that he was wrongly incarcerated last Friday by 3 police officers who took him in handcuffs, pointed guns at him. All right, we're back. He's back. You there? You hearing me?
Sorry about that. It's a call.
I don't know if am I okay? Okay, now I'm not hearing the echo. I thought I was hearing the echo, but I'm not. Oh, we lost you again. You there?
I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah. If you get a call, what happens is it sometimes mess up the audio synchronization. Yeah. So you just got a call again.
Okay, I gotta restart this again. Okay, I gotta come up. How about now?
Yeah. I think I'm hearing you better now.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I was saying someone had messaged and they said that there's some they experienced something similar. But let me find out from you. Have you taken any precaution or change your routine following the incident?
Yes, I did. Yeah, a little bit. But that wouldn't last too long because exercising at that time is my peace, is my therapy, and it's kind of like it's hard to explain. I talked to my stepmom, and of course my mom and my aunt, they would give me all these, oh, you gotta stop going down, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, but I'm not gonna roll over and die because somebody can't do the job, right? So yes, I'll probably take a different route. I did not go home that night. I drove over to a little bit above Grand Anse by BBC Beach. Even there, I heard a story about there, but it was a nice, quiet road, and I finished. Today, I did my walk. I stayed closer to home, but it's affecting me. But what's going to affect me more is not getting that endorphins and like your happy place.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I guess transitioning slowly, right? Grenada doesn't really have much 24-hour gyms, or it's kind of hard to find a place. But I mean, I think that's the least of my worry right now. I could do some jump rope in the house or something, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What does justice look like for you in this case? What do you?
To me, justice. I have low expectation for justice with the justice system. I know where it's gonna head, and I think justification is like talking to you, like right now, or talking to somebody who has a platform um, getting people to know about this. Uh, the officers, they need to get this. They need to have. I don't know what the system is here, but I don't know. I don't know what they do because I don't trust them and I don't believe them.
Right.
So justification in it comes from inside with me, and then I'll know when I get there. So as of now, I just really don't. I can't really tell you where I'm going.
Yeah. 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 Well, listen, my brother. I mean, I feel like I should apologize to you because I don't think any person should be treated in that way. I mean, I think I as you know, I'm always I'm a Grenadian just like yourself, and if I happen to be any place in Grenada and get guns pulled at me, I don't know who I would have feel. I would be upset. I would be
Well, yeah.
it's just going to be a crazy situation for me. I don't know how I would deal with it
I'll
because
tell
the
you. I'll tell
last
you this.
that would happen to me.
Okay, before you finish up,
Yeah.
I was in Trinidad a lot within the last 6 years, at least 5 times, because my dad lives in Trinidad and Grenada. So when I'm there, everybody says, "Don't go out, don't go out, don't you can't go there, you can't go here." And I still did go to the gym at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I still went out, and I was pushing it because I hear the vibe of a Trinidad, right? But coming home and it just took a blindside for me because I just never expected Grenada to be what people are telling me about Trinidad all my life.
But the
Or
truth and the fact is that's not widespread. Eh? I mean, I could attest to that because I don't be in Grenada and I don't walk around all the time. So
hmm
it's not widespread. It's isolated. It happens,
hmm
right?
hmm
But I don't want to give the world the impression that you have to be on your heels and toes when you come to the island because it's really not that place. It's
uh
really not that type of place. I walk around all over the place by myself sometimes.
Yeah,
Right?
that's why that's what I do.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't know what's going on. Like I said, isolated could be the word. And
Right.
and for it not to be isolated, the people who really cares about the citizen and the law should speak on it, should make a difference. They should take the step and make it better because you can't keep something like that isolated for so long because people are going to be dying and injustice going to happen. So somebody's going to come from who knows, like some crazy celebrity is going to come and just make Grenada looks like an idiot because they went through the same shit. Like, we're all black people in this world. The world sees you as a black man, and I keep saying black because Grenada is a predominantly black nation, and you as a black man knows what it's like to walk in a black man's shoes. It's different. Yes, you're a man, but to be a black man is different. Would you agree? It's a different thing.
No.
Um,
All right.
so, like I said in that piece, these cops could travel and they could be normal clothes like they were wearing, but you're still a black man wearing normal clothes in the UK. You could be a cop in Grenada with a badge and power, but you go to these countries and you're going to be treated just like a black man, like how they treat black people, right? I'm not saying all over the world is like that, but there's places in the Canada and US and UK and other places that sees you first. They see your color first.
Right. Right.
I don't know if that makes sense, but the world's divided and there's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah. And again, I want to reiterate this point, right?
Yeah,
I believe that this incident is unfortunate, should never happen.
yeah,
No one deserves to be treated that way. Um, but I don't want to come across as that's how it is on a widespread throughout the island, because it's really not. Now, the police officers who did this to you, I think that they should have some kind of reasoning and some reckoning at least, and speak about why were you isolated? Why did they pick you up in that way, the way that they did? Why did they point guns at you? All of that stuff. They have to have a day of reckoning, of explaining that.
Yes.
Right.
So that would be part of my justification.
Right. But Grenada is a safe place. I want to reiterate that. And you know that, we walk
I know
Grenada,
that.
we run Grenada, you know what I mean? So I don't want to paint that picture there. But it's sad, my brother, that you had to go through this. It pained my heart to know that a fellow Grenadian had to go through this, and that fear of having firearms pointed at you. You know what I mean? I don't know how I would have feel about it. So
A lot of people, it's never happened to a lot of people. And it's never happened to me before. Even in Canada, I don't think so because my back was turned. But this one, you can see, like, eye contact, face to face, right? Three guns pulled, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Listen, my brother. I wish you all the best in your quest for justice in this particular case right here.
yeah, I appreciate you talking to me, and I appreciate your listeners listening. And thanks for getting back to me so quick. And you had like such good recommendations, so I was happy when you reached back out and so fast.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Every one of us story to tell, and we appreciate
All
you
right.
telling and sharing your story here with us. Thank you, my brother.
So yeah,
I'll keep updated and find out what's happening with the case. All right.
all right. Thank you.
Thanks again.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate that the brother had to go through this. It's unfortunate for anybody to go through anything like that, guys. It is. And as isolated as it seems, I think one is too much. Sometimes they are bad in every bunch, right? And it's still allegations, because there are always more than one side to every story. But they are always bad in every bunch. In every bunch, they are bad. They are good teachers, they are bad teachers. They are they're good police officers, they're good police officers. Just need to, if police officers know of bad police officers in a bunch, they know that it's making them look bad. Because one bad apple spoil the whole bunch. If that is the case, guys, should never happen that way. A fellow national should not be treated that way, regardless of where he came from, how long he stayed in Grenada, regardless of any of that. Could have been probably could have been me, my son, or somebody. All right? But we anticipate that we'll get some word from the RGPF on this. I did, in fact, earlier today, send the information off to Mr. Vanny Corwin. And he's very active, and he is responding, and he responded, and I expect him to get back with some further response on to this particular case. How could this thing happen? And to get an understanding from the RGPF perspective. And as you know, Vanny Corwin is on the ball all the time. Thank you, Mr. Vanny Corwin, for always affording us that opportunity to get some clarification on these issues. And we look forward to your clarification so we can have a better understanding, all right, on that. Guys, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to take some of your calls right here on the live, 718-701-5720. Let's know what's your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Be right back. Don't move.
The Ministry of Tourism and Economic Development and the Grenada Tourism Authority extend a warm welcome to visitors and returning nationals visiting for Carnival and summer vacation. We do hope you enjoy your stay with us, and we invite you to return with friends and family to celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence on 7th February 2024. Tourism is my business, your business, our business.
All right, guys, let's open up the phone lines right now. 718-701-5720. Let's know what's on your mind. what's your thoughts on this story right here? And for those of you who possibly, had something like that happen, or you probably have a family member or something like that happen, let's see what you got to say. Give you an opportunity to call in 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. Okay, so Richard is saying that the police in Grenada has no damn training whatsoever. That's Richard. Eamon is saying it's very unfortunate. The guy is relating what happened to him, and people here have no reason to attack the man. This is his story. Yes, as I said, everyone have a story to tell. This is a safe space for everyone to share their story. All right, everyone have a story to tell. All right, remember that. Remember that. If you want to call in, guys, I'm still going to keep the phone lines open for 2 more minutes, so you could call in on the phone line, 718-701-5720. You could call in direct, or you could call in via WhatsApp. Put the number back up on the screen. This is it right there. It there right there. 718-701-5720. All right, so we have a response to Eamon Franklin from Everson, saying that some of the same people here crying out for justice a few years ago and didn't care to hear the police side of the story, now they want to hear the police. I think everybody's side should be ventilated. I think everyone's side should be heard, right? I think everyone's side should be heard. Because as we said, as we continue to say, everyone have a story to tell. And you can't say that the brother should not share his story. It happened to him. That is his recollection of the facts, is what's happened. It happened to him. Just as I explained to somebody, right? Somebody walking down the street, somebody jump out of the bush, hit them in a baseball bat upside their head. They have a right to come out and talk about the injustice that happened to them. That is their story. And nobody should say, well, they shouldn't tell the story because for whatever reason. No. Everyone have an opportunity and should have an opportunity to share their story. Now, the person now who hit him with the baseball bat might have a totally different recollection. He probably could have fallen, the baseball bat fall out of the hand. You know the story is. And as we say, sometimes there's 3 versions to a story. There are sometimes 4 versions to a story. But that doesn't mean that each side should not have an opportunity to speak on their side of the story. All right? Okay? All right. Good enough. All right. Angels say we need to the police side. What was his mental state or his verbal exchange between them, which could have potentially escalated things? Well, even if it escalated to the point, he was picked up, but he wasn't escalating the situation. As far as he said in his story, he wasn't escalating anything when he was initially picked up by the police. He was just running. So his story is he was just running. So nothing was escalated. He didn't pick a fight with anybody. No one saw him rob or stole anything from anybody. He was just running, exercising, right? Could be a case of mistaken identity. Probably somebody called and they said, oh, they see this guy running in the neighborhood, like what happened in Florida years ago, which is unfortunate because, if that is how it happened, you don't go to question someone. And as he said in his story, again, I'm going from what he said. You don't go to question someone with guns in their head because, boy, in that particular time, all kind of thing go into your mind. You peeing yourself, all kind of thing, and you know you're peeing yourself because that is pressure. That is pressure. Yeah, it's pressure. All right. Aisha, why did they have to give him facial recognition? He didn't have his ID on him? All right. Everson is saying there's no secret that the RGPF is poorly trained, poor attitude towards citizens, and have little to no repercussion for unbecoming behavior. That's a fact. That's Everson statement. All right, guys. So again, don't forget that Ride Along Live is a platform where everyone have a story to tell. We want to hear your story. Give us a call, 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. If you have a business or event and you want to advertise, promote on the platform, give us a call as well. Coming up, guys, in the next few months, Riders Immigration Services, right here in New York, we are putting together the best of the best to provide the best immigration service to you right here in New York. We're talking about consular services. We're talking about help with filing and obtaining your green card. We are talking about filing help and support for refugee. We're talking about obtaining your citizenship and helping you fill out documents to do that. We're talking about adjustment of status. We are talking about immigration services right here in New York City. Best of the best. Top of the line. That's coming very soon. Look out for that. Anyway, guys, we're going to continue to update you on the story that we spoke about at the top of the program involving incident in Woburn. This is a developing story, right? This is a developing story, but we don't want to get ahead of it. All we could report at the moment is that we could confirm that it was in fact a shooting in that particular area. One man is confirmed to be dead. At the point, we had information that state that the person in question is a non-national, however, residing in Grenada or is residing in Grenada over a period of time. But we're going to get some more information from the RGPF sometime in the night or early tomorrow. I will be able to keep you guys updated on that. Also, what I was saying earlier, guys, that this thing is getting out of hand. It's getting to the point where people are getting frightened. And Grenada is not that kind of place. People are getting frightened. There have to be a serious approach. A serious approach to deal with the excessive firearms that we see portraying. I don't know if it's excessive or if it's just excessively shown. Oftentimes, I get videos on WhatsApp from different one of our independent investigators on the ground of people who sporting the firearm and they're afraid, They have it in their status. They have it in their WhatsApp status. They don't care. They're showing it off. So there seem to be an increased number of firearms on the island. Not only in Grenada alone. We see a lot happening. We get a lot of reports from St. Vincent. We get a lot of reports from St. Lucia, Trinidad. We just getting it, man. It's straight across the region. So there have to be a different approach while dealing with firearm. Grenada don't manufacture no guns. Grenada don't make no guns. It's coming from the US. It's not coming from Canada. It's not coming from England. Certainly not coming from England. Because if you know how the thing's set up in England, not even the police in England have gun. Right? So there need to be some sort of serious effort. And someone have to be an example to show that if you own a firearm, an unlicensed firearm, you could do almost life in prison. Because why you have an unlicensed firearm for? You go use it and you go take somebody's life. So if you have a firearm, you too should face the wrath, lifetime in prison. In some states, every bullet that they find is 5 years, You have 10 bullets, 50 years right there, lifetime for some people. They need to have some serious approach dealing with the excess firearm on the island. Longer jail term, and they have to make some of them an example, because it's affecting you, it's affecting me, it's affecting everybody. It's affecting every person. So we have to seriously do something, guys. I'm calling on the administration now. You take a bold approach. Take a bold approach, not a sit-down approach. You have to first establish that, yes, we have a problem. Because if you don't think that we have a problem, you ain't going to feel the need to fix it, because there's no problem. Why are you fixing? The fact is, we have a problem. Let's move to fix and heal that problem before it becomes out of hand. Before it becomes so overwhelmingly out of hand, that it starts to drastically impact and affect our tourism sector. Right? So, serious action is needed. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being a part of our program. This week, on Wednesday, I promise you, we're going to have a big conversation on obtaining your green card. We're also going to speak about a lot of people who trying to travel to the US and Canada, the best ways to obtain a visa, what you need to put on that application, what you need to put, what you don't need to put. We have an expert in the field who's going to be right here on Wednesday telling us about consular services, how to obtain that visa, and how to be at least 90-something% that you're going to get that visa when you apply for it. We have that service. We have that person on the program on Wednesday. Don't miss it. Tomorrow, exciting story as well, but we'll deal with a conversation pertaining to dealing with the overwhelming unlicensed firearm on the island. That's going to be probably tomorrow. We'll keep you guys updated on that. Good night. Catch you tomorrow. On behalf of all of our production team here at Ride Along Live, our senior executive producer, Lois JJ, hardest working person in the whole team. I'm sweating. Thank you, and have a good night. Peace out.
I want you folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money.
Request, repay, repeat with Ariza's FlexiCredit Evergreen Loan Facility. Qualify for a FlexiCredit with limits up to $25,000 or use your home equity to qualify for more. Extra cash at your fingertips whenever you need it. Accessed using your debit card and managed using AMI, Ariza's mobile internet experience app. FlexiCredit allows you the flexibility to top up to your approved limit any day, anytime. Already a member? Send us a WhatsApp on 423-4987. New members join today to apply. Request, repay, repeat. Use your FlexiCredit for vacations, shopping, wedding, general expenses, and more. Ariza loan terms and conditions apply. Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
The Ministry of Tourism and Economic Development and the Grenada Tourism Authority extend a warm welcome to visitors and returning nationals visiting for Carnival and summer vacation. We do hope you enjoy your stay with us, and we invite you to return with friends and family to celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence on 7th February 2024. Tourism is my business, your business, our business.